So I think we can start with the first, which was actually DM to me early pa. What can you advise to students or alumni who didn't graduate top of class? Is there anything we can do to compensate for that? Maybe we can ask Abigail and Christine for this.
Would you like to go ahead, Abigail, or I can?
I can go first. That's all right.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Okay. So when we have candidates, of course, that apply, you and also especially fresh graduates, you feel that you have to be an honor student or you have to get all these awards from school. But really, I think that we discussed, the panelists and I, we really discussed what we're really looking for in a fresh graduate. It's really your willingness to learn and how you are committed to the position that you'd like to apply for. And again, there's so many certifications out there that you can apply to and keep developing yourself. So again, it doesn't really, I mean, of course, we consider that, it's great to have those awards and everything. But for me, what really would stand out is how you're able to do the job well, how you're able to still develop, and your willingness to learn when you come to an interview. So that's how you should be able to make yourself stand out.
All right. Thanks. Abigail?
For my answer, it's actually the same because if we, earlier what we are talking about is really the personality. But being an honor student is really like a wow factor, especially when you see that on the resume. It's something that a starter is very proud of, and I really like to hear the stories about it. But what really matters is your personality, your commitment. If you really like the job, and if you're very passionate, I mean, those are the things that make you go places in our company. I mean, not only in our company but in different industries. As long as you're committed, as long as you're willing to learn, adaptable. I mean, you will be able to achieve what you want in the company.
All right, thanks for that. So I think for our next question, it's actually related to that. I think Joanne and Roden can answer this. It was touched on a bit earlier. So when applying for a job, does it matter if you are a graduate of a provincial college, even if you're not, you're not a graduate of the Big Four or the like Metro Manila schools? Does it matter if you are a graduate of provincial colleges?
Okay. Joanne, would you like to start or me?
You can go ahead.
Okay, thanks, John. So yeah, as mentioned earlier, we are not actually looking for the name of the school. We are looking for your willingness to learn more, actually, because learning doesn't stop at school. It doesn't mean that you're a graduate from this specific school that you have learned more than what the students are learning from the schools in the provinces. It doesn't stop there. So what we're looking for is your willingness to learn more right after you graduate.
I see. All right. I think parang yung common theme nga din, no, is yung willingness to learn, and yun nga, it's more really on the habits. Sorry, Joanne. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so I would just like to add there that I guess it depends on the industry, but in our industry, CPO, BPO, consulting, it doesn't matter if you're from the province, if you studied there. What matters is if you are able to apply the learning that you had, and how well you present yourself, and how committed you are, to showcase your skills. So at the end of the day, it's what you can bring into the table and not about the school that you came from. But I must say that in other industry, it matters. But again, it would depend. But at least in our industry, which I can speak for, it doesn't. As long as you're committed, and you show the kind of passion that you have as an employee, you'd be able to land a job.
All right, great. So I think our industries here are some of the most like open to all sectors, whether you're a graduate of this course or this course, or you're a graduate of a Manila University or a provincial university, we are very open naman to accepting that. We're not really looking into the names, into the the grades, the university, but we're really looking into what is your like behavior, how would you work, what is your work ethics. So we're really looking more into that. So that's great to hear. All right, so another question that we have here, what's the ideal resume for you? So we mentioned na we actually give more weight to interviews, to how we observe the interviewee, but yung resume hindi natin yan matatanggal. So ano ba yung parang ideal resume sa inyo? Maybe for this we can ask Abigail and maybe again Roden.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'll start with this one. So for the resume, if you are a fresh graduate, don't go for a lot of pages. You don't have to list down all the seminars that you attended to, all the meetings you attended to. It doesn't matter. Make it short, make it concise. And this is the tip that I'm always giving um, to the students as well, that when you're making your first resume as a graduating student, highlight the most important for you. If you're a fresh graduate, you don't have any work experience yet, but you have the internship, for example, highlight your internship, the things that you have learned from that internship. Okay, so put it at the top part. Of course, the top part would be the name, the degree that you finished. But of course, you have to highlight the experience that you have as an intern, and then you don't have to put the character references there right away. During the application process, your recruiter will ask you to provide those details. You don't have to put those details. Another things that you don't have to put on your resume are personal information, like the names of your parents, the occupations of your parents, your siblings. You don't have to put that. Those are very sensitive data that you have to keep. Those are the information that we will be sharing with the HR team once we are hired. Okay, so again, make it short, make it concise. A one-pager resume is okay. Make it clean. Don't put a lot of colors unless you are applying for a marketing role or a graphic design job. This another tip that I can give is have at least two colors in your resume. Plus, easy to read colors. Let's say blue and black. Don't put red, striking colors like that. Don't put glittery colors. When it comes to font, use just one font. Arial or Gotham is the most ideal, very easy to read. And font size as well. Ideal size for the text is around 11, and then for your name around 16. Something like that. So yeah, just message me if you need some more tips on this one. We can chat on Facebook. We can chat on LinkedIn. This is not just a tip for me, but I think this is applicable to all other companies as well. Thank you.
Yeah, Abigail, would you like to add to that?
Yeah, sure. Actually, mine is very basic. I mean, Roden was able to share some like the font, because I noticed there are some candidates, especially fresh grads, who use different fonts. Sometimes the spacing it's not the spacing is different. So I guess it's best if we have like one page only for fresh grad. Highlight your educational attainment. Of course, your internship, that's very important. But if there's none, it's okay, because we're not really specific to. It's not really like a showstopper for us. It's okay if there's no picture, but sometimes it's also like a like fresh breath of air for me when I see something that's colorful. Probably that's just my personal preference, but not really. I mean,
Not
it's
so
okay.
colorful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anything will do, as long as it's not. I think the spacing, the font, as long as they're not different. It should just be standard, I guess. Yeah, and I noticed that a lot of fresh grads also like to put pictures on their resume. Well, that's fine if you don't put one.
All right, great. So I think this is actually an important topic, especially for maybe students who would like to apply as well for Optum and Shearwater. So would you like to pitch in as well, Christine?
Just to add also, I mean, Rod and Abigail were able to really share with the ideal things that we look for in a resume. But I think what I can add as a tip to what's important in a resume is just keep it very professional. I like what Abigail mentioned about the picture because some people would still put their pictures. But again, you can ask the company before you apply if that is a requirement. So again, it's an option again to put a picture. And if you do put a picture, make it a professional picture. A 2x2 professional picture would do. It's also very much important that you have the three main parts of the body of a resume, which is really your personal contact details. So again, what to piggyback on what Rod mentioned, it's very much important just to put what's needed on how can the recruiter contact you. So what we need really is mainly your full name and also ways on how we are able to contact you so that we can of course interview you. An important thing also to add, of course, would be your educational background, and also the internship that you went through, because since you are a fresh graduate, that's mainly what you can put as your work experience. And also actually if you were a working student, you can add that. You can also put your experience as a working student, so that's no problem.
All right, thank you, Joanne.
Yeah, I just want to add this, pretty much they say a lot already, but I've seen a lot of CVs in my life. And they really look, different from one another.
Yeah.
My only message to you guys is that you are your resume. What you say, what you put in your resume is a reflection of yourself. So make sure that you put there all the relevant information that is needed, and that will really represent you as a candidate, as an applicant. One page is all you need. Just make sure and remember that you are your resume. If you put a picture, I think it's nice to see a picture, especially now everything is virtual. You don't get to see each other. It's nice, but please make sure that it's professional looking, it's neat, and it's not a selfie or something that you took from your IG.
Very casual, yeah.
No, and hopefully you'll be able to really represent yourself through your CV.
All right, thanks for that, everyone. So if I can just add, actually, if you can proofread your resume 5, 10 times, then please do so, because I think that's a major turnoff. If you're seeing a lot of like wrong spellings or wrong grammar, or like Abigail mentioned, in terms of the spacing, it's uneven. That's, I think, a major turnoff. So if you can proofread your resume 10 times, then do it. Like Joanne mentioned, your resume is yourself. So if your resume has a lot of errors, has a lot of, a lot of stuff going wrong, then that's not a good reflection of yourself. So, yeah. Um, I think this is also a question for everyone, but maybe just short answers. How about career shifters? I think a lot of the graduates here have already, say, 1 year of experience in one industry, but are interested in joining our industries featured here. Or maybe they graduated from a different course, but they wanted also to enter into the BPO CPO consultancy industry. What qualifications or qualities are you looking for? Maybe we can start with Roden.
Yeah, for Korn Ferry, we encourage actually career shifters.
Mm.
For those who doesn't have any experience yet, coming from, we are not just focusing on those who graduate of business administration, human resources, because students might think that that's what we're looking for, but no, everyone is welcome. But yeah, with regard to the requirements, we usually look for candidates who are confident or comfortable in using Microsoft software like MS Word, MS Excel. Those are the tools that we are using here in Korn Ferry.
All right,
So yeah.
Christine.
Yeah. For us, Wilfred and Optum, we of course hire career shifters, and we encourage them to apply to our company. The good thing about the career shifters that we hire here at Optum is that they're able to attend the trainings that we have. Of course, we don't expect them to already know the different opportunities that we have. So we do give time to train the career shifters. And I think what's important and what we look for in a career shifter is again how they are committed to the work and that they are willing to stay with the company. Of course, tenure is very important as well. So even if you, let's say, move from a different industry or a different career, or you graduated from a different course, that's no problem here at Optum. We still are able to train you, and we will be able to hire you here in the company.
All right, that's great to hear. How about for Shearwater, Joanne? Are you accepting career shifters?
Yes, we do. In fact, most of the nurses that we hire from hospital setting. So when they move to CPO, that's a different setting altogether. Still in nursing though, but yes, we do. I guess my advice is whenever you shift career, you need to understand where you're going to, right? And whether you are amenable with the changes that comes with the shifting. Because there will always be changes in the environment, the work expectation. You'll have to unlearn the things that you learned in the past and learn new things. So you need to also, reflect whether these changes is something that you would welcome when you try to shift your career. But in most of the organizations right now, even in Shearwater Health, shifters are very much welcome. But the things that we would really look into is your adaptability to those changes and working in a different environment.
All right, thank you. Abigail, for TeleTech, are you accepting career shifters?
Yeah, of course we do. We call them adapters. So these are the types of candidates who work in a different industry. So my only advice is they really need to ask themselves if this is something that they want, if this is something that they can do. I would encourage them to research a lot. For example, we have career shifters who work in a day shift, and then we are offering graveyard shift, and a lot of them cannot do the work after a few months. So it's very important that they do research and then ask themselves if this is something that they can commit to. It's also important that they are adaptable because there are a lot of changes in the BPO, CPO, IT industry. So there's a lot. They need to be very adaptable. And then another one is they should be very receptive to feedback. They cannot apply the things that they learned from their previous company to the new company. So they should be open to learn new things and really adapt.
All right, all right, thank you very much for that. So now that we are on the aspect of accepting different types of applicants, are you also accepting undergraduates? So some of our participants here are, of course, currently still studying. Some are in their third year or fourth year. But yeah, currently, are you accepting undergraduates or those who haven't finished college yet? I think maybe a simple yes or no would work, unless you have an extensive program for that.
Yeah. So Wilfred, here at Optum, we do accept undergraduates. Just as long as I believe they have a few experience in the BPO or at least work experience. But again, that discussion can happen during our interviews. But yes, we do accept undergraduates.
All right. For Korn Ferry then?
For fresh graduates, yes, we do accept student applicants as long as they have the capacity to work 8 hours per day. And then for those who already have the work experience, yes, we also accept undergraduates, as long as you have the equivalent relevant experience.
All right. For Shearwater, Joanne.
For now, because of the kind of work that we do, the work would entail a degree because of the clinical roles. Though we're open to freshers or fresh graduates and we can train them. Or if you're looking for a part-time job or a more flexible work arrangement, we also have 4 by 11 and part-time opportunities available in Shearwater Health.
4 by 11, can you elaborate on that?
4 by 11 is like you're coming in for work for 4 days instead of 5
I see.
days. And then you have longer hours. Typically, it's just 8 hours. But if you are on a 4 by 11 shift, your hours would be extended until 11 hours to compensate for the missed day. So that's pretty much the 4 by 11 flexible in terms of employment.
Yeah. I think that's actually the format that is being recommended by NEDA right now, no? Yung 4-day work week na lang to compensate for the rising fuel prices, rising inflation, transportation costs. So yeah, it's great that you already have that program. How about for TeleTech, Abigail?
For TeleTech, yes, we also do accept undergrads as long as you completed at least senior higher the K-12 curriculum. There will be programs for you. Something that I want to highlight as well is that we have educational assistance program. So if we have candidates who want to pursue their education, we have that program in TeleTech. But of course, you need to be regularized first, and then make sure that you are well adjusted with the schedule and all.
All right, thanks for that. An interesting question actually came in. Is it disadvantageous having an online internship when applying for a job? Because I realized that a lot of the students, maybe a handful of the students actually had their internship online because, of course, with the pandemic, there are restrictions when it comes to going into the office. So is it disadvantageous from your point of view? Maybe we can start with you, Joanne.
No, it doesn't actually matter if it's online or face to face. I would actually, appreciate it pa nga if they were able to do it even during pandemic. That's a big achievement actually for the graduates.
I see. It's great. Christine.
Yeah, to add to that also, I mean, it really doesn't matter if they did their internship online or if it's face to face. What really matters is how they were able to execute their tasks and if they were able to be professional during their internship and have certain work ethics like collaboration and teamwork, and also have, let's say, the problem solving skills that they were able to showcase during the internship. So I think again, it doesn't matter if it's face to face or virtual. It's not a disadvantage. It's how you were able to complete your internship.
All right, great. Roden, Abigail, would you like to chime in on that?
Yes. So Wilfred, for Korn Ferry, it's not an advantage as well. So yeah.
All right, great.
Same
And I
thing
assume
with TeleTech.
for TeleTech, yeah, same. All right, so I think for our last question, how would you describe the training process for fresh graduates coming into the company? So maybe we can explain it shortly. What are your training programs for fresh graduates, and what aspects are you training them for? Maybe who wants to start?
I can share for
Yeah,
Shearwater
sure,
Health.
Joanne. All right.
For every new hire, this is not just for freshers, but for every new hire, they go through an onboarding plan. First would be the new hire orientation. That is pretty much 2 days of worth of training for us because we wanted to make sure that they understand the company values, the organization structure, um, where they are in that organization structure, who are the key people that they need to know in case they would need some assistance, and also a background of what we do as a company. So that is 2 days of investment, the new hire orientation, and afterwards they go through foundations training. So foundations training is not limited to a communications training. It's a blended approach of communications and soft skills training, whether you will be on the phones or you will be doing back office of work. We do provide foundations training to our new hires. And then they go through process training. So this is the time that they will learn specific information according to the role that they will be fulfilling, what kind of processes they need to learn. Sometimes it varies, it takes a month. Sometimes there are some processes that would take a quarter, no, depending on how critical the role is. But this is the kind of training and investment that Shearwater Health puts into a new hire to ensure that they are successful. Another aspect is we do have the academy program. So if you're a fresher and you go through certification training, that will take about 3 to 4 months for us of training. They will prep you, they will give you some curriculum to study on with the assistance of a trainer, an online program. And there's also a prep prior to taking the assessments, actual assessment. And even if they graduate and certified already, before we endorse them to the process training, there would be some, they call it practice charts, no? To ensure that they're able to apply the learning that they did or they had in the academy program, even before we put them in the actual process training. So there's a lot of investment put in place, additional training program and support provided to the new hires. And when you are already onboarded, we also have a team, a dedicated team, the organizational and educational development team, to provide supplementary trainings. Some of it would be on leadership programs. Some of it would be additional training for quality tools to help them do process improvements within their team. So these are just samples, but I just want to share that there is an onboarding plan in place for each of the new hire for Shearwater Health.
All right, thanks for that. Abigail, how about for TeleTech?
Well, for TeleTech, it's kind of the same. We have this onboarding stage wherein they will know more about the company values, the organization, the program where they will be profiled. There's also a realistic job review, of course, about the program that they are supporting. When it comes to the length of the training, it varies depending on the complexity of the program. Shortest could be 2 weeks, but sometimes it could take a month or 2 months. But we make sure that we make sure that there's support, especially for our fresh graduates. In fact, to one of the programs that I'm supporting, it's actually a financial account, and upon checking, fresh grads those who are fresh graduates are more successful compared to other candidate category because they are very flexible and they really do adapt with the learnings and make sure that they apply to it. So yeah, that's what I can share about our training program.
All right, thank you. Roden, for Korn Ferry.
Okay, for Korn Ferry, usually for fresh graduates, you will receive your onboarding plan and training program a week before your start date. It's for you to check all the available programs and what to see in advance the programs that you will be going through. So After the orientation with the HR, you'll have a training with your manager who is based here in the Philippines, and your colleague who is based here in the Philippines as well. After a week of training with your teammates, there is a separate training with your stakeholders who are based in the country that you are supporting to. And then after that, we have the early career program. So this is for the fresh graduates. So these are trainings in technical aspects of the role that they are taking it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. And then finally for Optum, Christine.
Yeah, for Optum, very similar to what all the other boarding plan for them. They join a new employee orientation. And after that, we would also put them in other trainings that they would need for their specific program. So similarly to the other companies, we really do invest training for the fresh graduates that we have in Optum, and we make sure that they are very much equipped before they really are placed into and when they have to execute the work that they really need to do.
All right. Thank you very much, Christine. So yeah, before we move on to the exclusive speaking sessions of Mega World and Philinvestland, I would like to extend our gratitude to all our guests here, Roden, Abigail, Joan, Christine, for imparting such valuable learnings to our students and graduates here. I am pretty sure they will be remembering you guys, and hopefully you'll be top of their mind when exploring their career opportunities. No?